Hi guys, Piotr here, LiteFinance Global YouTube channel, and what we are going to discuss today? Well, we are going to discuss the technical analysis and the things I love to trade. Well, that's true, I love to trade. Well, basically, as you already know, I don't use any kind of the technical indicators. What I love to trade are the horizontal trend lines. In that particular case, we are going to discuss, for example, pound dollar, right here, right now. Now, the thing is that what I usually do, I'm trying to check what is going on from the higher time frame perspective, and then I'm trying very often to move that things to the lower time frames. So in that case, what we have here, we have the cable going higher, then doing the things related. That's all these things were tradable, but what was most important, it was this thing over under and move to the downside. So what we are going to discuss is the very important thing. We're discussing this quite a few times, but it might be very useful going forward. So guys, what is most important then when I'm trying to place very important horizontal line, I'm trying to take into the consideration what happened. I'm trying to take into the consideration that what happened in the past, right? What was the very important when we were below, above some very significant levels, right? In that case, from here, as you can see, we moved lower. So probably that's the 1 hour chart. There was plenty of possibilities to try to trade the downside, all right? One of the most important thing is that I love to trade upper shadows when it comes to the significant levels, all right? I love to trade when it comes to the significant levels. So when it comes to the significant levels, if you are going to check the things related to this break to the upside, right? And with this fading, this line is getting my attention, all right? So if we are above, I'm looking for the buying opportunity. If we are below, I'm looking for the selling opportunity. All right, that was what I've been looking for when it comes to the possible long. Probably I've been stopped out, but now, guys, we broke through that line. All right, we broke through the line. We're trying to go higher, we're trying to go lower, higher. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the intraday trading charts. That was the daily chart. Let's switch lower to the hourly chart, all right? We are switching to the hourly chart. What do we have? We have the level from where we went lower. We've seen attempt to go lower. All right, that was the possible short setup. We've been stopped out. But what happened? We closed lower again here. That was another setup. It was more than 3 to 1. More than 3 to 1. Taking into the consideration that we are covering ourselves, that we are trying to be on a safe side above the upper shadow. Then it happened again. It was once higher high, twice supply, boom! It was again. But what was important for me, taking into the consideration the latest price action, it was this particular high. So when I saw this high pull back, rally back, that was my significant development when it comes to the short side. Well, I'm going to try to show you again. If we have some kind of the significant rally on the short term time frame, and we are going to get the pullback, you don't want to chase the price. You do want to trade some significant levels, right? In that case, you want to trade some kind of the very, very important developments like this over under, some kind of the head and shoulders, double top, triple top, right? We were discussing this stuff quite a few times. So let's have a look what we've seen today. So we knew it that based on the daily time frame, right, we do have some significant level development lines based on what we already seen. All right, I do have the line related to these upper shadows. I do have this line based on what we already seen last week. Okay, so let's switch lower. Let's have a look what we have on the lower time frame, 1 hour time frame. Why my line is here? We have significant pullback line, break to the upside. So once we broke to the downside, I've been looking for the selling opportunity around these levels. Okay, let's have a look lower. Let's check what we've seen on the 15-minute chart. Now, if you do remember, we were doing this stuff quite a few times. If you do have significant line, if this significant line, for example, is being broken to the downside and you see the upside, you want to see some kind of the failure. You want to see attempt to break higher, for example, with the upper shadow. Well, haven't we seen that? Here, if this type of the upside break was available for you, what would you do? What would you do? You were trying to prepare yourself for the short opportunity, right? In that case, you may want to try quite few significant developments. Okay, let me show you one of the developments. So we knew it based on what we've seen previously on the hourly chart. Then we have significant supply level. We've seen 1, twice, 3 times, 4 times attempt to break higher, and every time we've seen the move lower. Once we've seen the attempt to go higher, well, it could be that you are going to see once, twice, 3 times the attempt to go higher, and you are not going to see your level. But once when you see attempt to go higher with the failure, that's your development when it comes to the short position. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that this type of the attempt to go short long based on the development you see, you may not trade each and every time, but once you are going to see such a setup, that's when you want to trade long on or short side. Okay, in that case it was trying to go short. So let's try to summarize. I'm not telling it's easy. My best setups, when you have from the higher time frame perspective possible supply, when the market is trying to retest that one, you see the pullback, wait for the stop hunt. Don't forget that we are going to change the direction only if we are going to see some kind of the stop hunt. I know some of you, well, that's the common head and shoulder patterns, okay, but if that's the common head and shoulder patterns, then you are waiting for the break of the neckline, right? With what we are talking today, you are looking for the over-under setup. So you are trying to approach the short setup from the very common level. Right? You know what you are looking for. You know where you are going to hunt for the position. It could be a little bit the front run, but you do understand that it's one of the most important things. If you are going to use indicators, again, I'm not against any kind of the indicators. Many cases it could be that, well, using your indicators, you are well ahead, because it could be some kind of the divergence or whatever you want to call it. You might be very well positioned into what's going to happen. Of course, you are going to have a stop out once or twice, but trying to position yourself in the right direction, especially if you do have the overall move to the downside and you do have then attempt to create the false picture, right, that we are going to try to break higher, for example, right, your overall direction is to the downside, then market is trying to show you, no, we are going to go higher, then you know that if you have 1 to 1, for example, right, and then move down, and then again attempt to go higher, then you know where your approach is, where your stop is, and what could be your target based, for example, on simple head and shoulders breakdown. With that being said, very often your target is going to be more than 3 to 1 risk-reward ratio. In other words, trying to take into the consideration this particular strategy, you are going to be very often well done, quicker than others, but you have to do your own research. You have to do your own homework to be on the right side of the trade. With that being said, guys, I strongly encourage you to leave the comment below, and I strongly encourage you to watch the next video, because we are going to discuss, yes, we are going to discuss scalp trading opportunities based on the higher time frame setups. All the best, wish you great trading day, see you around, take care and goodbye.